Well, as we sit here, we are in mid-January and 2024 campaign has already started. I want to really talk about my take on winter bait. Now, a lot of people will say, oh, don't put anything out, just fish jigs, fish singles, but certainly I do believe that if you're on a venue where people are fishing all the time and there's still an amount of bait coming in, or if you're on a syndicate where you know the lads and what they're doing, if you can keep bait going in during those colder months, you can really reap the rewards. So for me, I do still put out bait, but the way that I bait is very, very different, and the quantities and sort of how I put that all together. So for anyone that knows, since joining MAD, I have been a huge fan of this bit here, and that is the P-Fish. A blend of fish meals and nuts, and just, I don't know, there's something captivating about it. It seems to change, it seems to develop as and when you use it. But for me, it has caught me everything since the day that I joined. I have not put another bait in the water yet. Since Mark told me that they were bringing out 8 mils, I knew just how well these are going to fit into my winter campaign and my small bit fishing. So for me, P-Fish 8 mils have been the base of the last couple of weeks' fishing's bait, if you like. So a couple of handfuls of these, and what I'm about to do is sacrilege. So a couple of handfuls of holes, and you can do this with smaller baits. I do crumb up a few, sort of just bursting the crust of them really. I don't want to have loads of crumb and loads of round boilies. I want to have a good mixture of both. So as I say, what you're about to see will make sense of why I'm doing this. So crumb up a few of them, pinch a few of them between your fingers. Those 8 milers don't take a lot of pressure to obviously burst them open. But what it does is it creates an amount of powder, an amount of sort of loose boilie mix. Then on top of that, something I have really loved using is pellets. I've always been a huge fan of pellets, and these little mixed pellets in the P-Fish, everything sort of from powdered dust up to a sort of 2.5 mil pellet, that goes into my mix. And from that is a great start of a dry mix. But in winter, I am certainly not into dry, round and whole products. So for me, in winter, it's all about these guys, these sort of things, liquids. My ethos really around winter fishing is minimum amount of bait, maximum amount of traction. So by adding huge amount of liquids into small amount of bait, you maximize on your traction, but still establish an amount of food out into the lake. So this one first, Calmino Glug, it's certainly not something I would have imagined myself using months and months ago, but it's rich, it's meaty, it's got that Calnus liquid in there as a base. And you know, when I say I'm putting a good amount of liquid in, you'll be surprised just how much the dust and the crumb boilie, as well as the dust in that pellet mix, can take on. But the key to it is to do it in stages. What you do not want to do is pile a load of liquid in and then just have it all running over the bottom of your bucket. It's absolutely pointless. The other liquid then, to match it all, obviously is the P-Fish food dip. Yeah, again, it's got all those tones and the flavours and the attractors. I mean, it looks really perverted to be like sniffing on bottles of liquid, but there's something great about it. It's meaty, it's rich, it's got fishy, it's got sweet. And the combination of those two liquids for me in these colder water months, when they go into the water, they actually plume, it actually gives off, and you can imagine those fish are feeding and munching around on your area, all those attractors are going back out. Now, normally, if I was just coating boilies, I would put probably half that quantity of liquid in. But as you can see from the bucket, just those 2 scoops of pellet and 2 scoops of boilies crumbed up have absorbed a huge amount of liquid. And that is what you end up with, a sticky, marmitey, toffee looking mixture, but packed full of attraction. So for me, that there is 2 or 3 spawns worth that I can put into the water and sort of double down on the amount of attraction. By adding those liquids, it really does super boost the area. And if you imagine with these thick, heavy, dense liquids, when they're in bait, they leach out, they leach into the bottom that's probably full of leaves and leaf litter and bits and pieces, and it will keep those fish interested. So for me, winter, minimal food, but still keeping food, but maximum attraction. And by adding loads of liquids into your mix, you're guaranteed to have a punchy, stinky mix loaded with attractors.